Prestoplan developed Urban Advantage in response to the construction industry's requirement for a prefabricated system build that offered superior acoustic, thermal and fire prevention properties.
You'll see that we're surrounded by Victorian terraced housing. Some of our blocks are as close as 20 metres or less. And the fire assessment for the construction phase showed that we had some real problems with potential fire spread.
We've worked with Prestoplan at Lancaster University and Leeds Met University on several other student residential projects, and when we were working with them on this site in Carlisle, it was decided that we needed to protect against fire, and they put forward the solution of using their new Urban Advantage scheme.
When we looked at costs, obviously we had the benefit of the fire strategy. We then looked at the cost of double handling plasterboard upstairs, and the time that took to fix, and there were certainly programme advantages, and when we weighed that up we decided that Urban Advantage was really the system we should be using.
Things like hotels and student accommodation, the opening date is the one fixed thing in that calendar, and so contractors are under a tremendous amount of pressure to mitigate the programme risks and the associated liquidated and ascertained damages that go with failure on that programme. Now you can imagine that if you're going to use a building system that already has half the plasterboard, if you like, built in ex-factory, and the insulation built in ex-factory, and all the structural division walls and so forth that already comes to site on the back of a wagon, then your build process is so much more advanced when we hand over our building to the subsequent trades than any other system I know.
It gives the contractor additional benefits in the fact that you get reduced programme through boarding out, so the board's already included, and then also going forward with a sustainability view, it comes to site pre-insulated and it helps improve the airtight membrane.
The system comes to the architectural team with all the appropriate certification at the back of it and test evidence, so they can have confidence that the building they're drawing is going to perform at the end of the day.
The Urban Advantage from a construction perspective is quite straightforward. The components are very similar. The only real difference with Urban Advantage is the panel is much bigger and obviously is pre-clad. So we use a crane to actually install the panels until they're fully braced and actually fixed. And the other difference is that we use screws fixings as opposed to nails. There's a lot more control in positioning of these last panels by using the crane, so health and safety is obviously paramount, and the crane is not released until it's fully secure.
Initially, we aimed the product at the student accommodation and budget hotel sectors, as these are sort of generally large, fast-track buildings, often built in urban environments. However, we've since established client bases into social housing, RSLs, because obviously brownfield sites are to the fore.
In effect, Urban Advantage has a lot more in common with a prefabricated building solution than it does with, if you like, traditional timber frame.
When you think that this scheme only went onto site about 9 weeks ago, and you can see the progress that's been made, it's a great recommendation for them.
Good thermal performance, good acoustic performance, and excellent fire performance both during construction and in the final building.